Let's be honest for a moment. Nobody hands you a roadmap for what life feels like when you cross the threshold of 80. People talk about retirement as if it's a golden ticket to endless leisure. Maybe you'll travel, take up painting, or spend lazy afternoons with your grandkids. They talk about slowing down, savoring life's quieter moments. But what they don't talk about is the deeper shift that happens inside you. Not just in your body, but in your heart, your daily routines, the way your relationships evolve, and even how the world perceives you. Turning 80 isn't just a milestone marked by a birthday cake and candles. It's a subtle turning point, a new chapter that arrives with truths nobody fully prepares you for. And if those truths aren't named, you're left to piece them together on your own, navigating changes that feel both profound and unspoken. That's why we're here today. We're going to talk about what life after 80 really feels like, not to dwell on the challenges or cast a shadow over this stage, but to be real, to put words to the experiences so many people go through but don't always voice. These are the quiet shifts, the ones that don't show up in birthday card platitudes or get discussed over family dinners. They're the realities that only those who've lived them, or are living them, truly grasp. We're going to explore 5 powerful truths about life after 80, the ones that catch you off guard when you least expect it. And we'll do so with the honesty and compassion you deserve. Before we begin, I'd love to hear from you. Where are you reading this from? Drop your city, state, or even country in the comments. It's always inspiring to know where these words are reaching and who they're touching. Whether you're in a vibrant city or a quiet rural town, your presence here matters. Now let's dive in. One of the first changes you notice after 80 isn't about your health or your energy. It's about the people in your life. The friends who used to call every weekend to catch up. The neighbors you'd chat with over the garden gate. The colleagues who filled your days with stories and laughter. They start to slip away. It's not a sudden disappearance, but a gradual fading, like the slow drift of autumn leaves. At first, you might not even notice it. You're busy, they're busy, and life moves on. But then one day, you sit down with your morning tea and the phone stays silent. The mailbox holds only bills, not letters. Your home feels quieter than it once did, and you realize your social circle has grown smaller. This shift isn't always due to conflict or a dramatic falling out. Often it's just the natural course of life. Friends retire and move closer to their children or to sunnier places. Others face health challenges that keep them homebound, unable to visit or call as often. And yes, some pass away, leaving a void that's hard to put into words. It's not just the grief of losing someone dear, it's the absence of their presence in your daily rhythm. The Sunday potlucks, the spontaneous coffee dates, the shared laughter over memories from years past. They're gone, and the silence they leave behind can feel overwhelming. This change can bring a profound sense of loneliness, even if you're surrounded by family. Your children and grandchildren might call or visit when they can, sending texts or dropping by for holidays. But it's not the same. They have their own lives, careers, kids, endless responsibilities, and you don't hold it against them. You raised them to be independent after all. But it still hurts when you realize you're no longer the first person they call with exciting news or turn to for advice. Invitations to gatherings dwindle, the casual visits become less frequent, and sometimes you're left wondering if you've become less essential, less central to the lives of those around you. Here's a truth nobody tells you. After 80, connection doesn't just happen like it used to. It requires intention, your intention. The world doesn't always come to you anymore, but that doesn't mean you're out of options. You can pick up the phone, even if your fingers pause over the numbers, unsure if you're intruding. You can say yes to that community center lunch, even if stepping into a room of unfamiliar faces feels daunting. You can write a letter, yes, a real handwritten letter, to someone you haven't spoken to in years. Even small gestures, like sitting on your front porch and waving to neighbors, can spark moments of connection that lift your spirits more than you expect. These new connections may not replace the ones you've lost. They won't carry the same weight as friendships built over decades of shared history. But they can still matter deeply. They can remind you that you're seen, heard, and valued in ways that endure. The need for connection doesn't fade with age. It's as vital at 80 as it was at 20 or 40. Your voice still carries meaning, your stories still deserve an audience, and the world hasn't finished needing you. So keep reaching out. Keep showing up. You matter, and your presence still makes a difference, even if it's in quieter, smaller ways than before. Let's talk about something that hits closer to home: your body. After 80, it doesn't recover the way it once did. That's the unvarnished truth. A minor trip that would have left you with a fleeting bruise in your 60s might now mean days of soreness or a visit to the clinic. A cold that used to pass in a few days lingers, draining your energy for weeks. Even a full day, perhaps a family party or a trip to the market, can leave you exhausted for days, not hours. And sometimes things don't return to how they were. That's the part that's hard to accept. Aches and pains stop being occasional guests and become permanent residents. Your knees creak when you stand up. Your back protests after too long in one position. Fatigue settles in even when you've slept through the night. You might do everything right: eat nutritious meals, take your prescribed medications, go for gentle walks, and still your body seems to follow its own rules. It's not just the physical changes that challenge you, it's the emotional weight they carry. You start questioning yourself. Can I manage those stairs today? Should I carry that bag of groceries? What if I lose my balance? That self-doubt can erode the confidence you've built over a lifetime, turning everyday tasks into moments of hesitation. Someone once shared a saying that stuck with me: after 80, rest doesn't always recharge you, it can slow you down even more. There's truth in that. If you stop moving entirely, your strength slips away faster than you'd imagine. But push too hard, and you risk a setback that could take weeks to recover from. The challenge lies in finding balance, listening to your body without giving in to its limitations. That might mean shorter walks, more frequent breaks, or using a cane, even if it feels like admitting defeat. It's not about surrender, it's about adapting to a new rhythm. Your body has carried you through decades of joys and challenges. It deserves kindness and patience now. This shift asks you to rethink what strength means. It's no longer about lifting heavy loads or keeping up with the kids. It's about showing up for yourself, day after day, in small, meaningful ways. It's choosing to take that slow walk around the garden, even when you're tired. It's doing those chair exercises your physical therapist suggested, even if they feel awkward. It's recognizing that every step forward, no matter how modest, is a triumph. You're not failing when your body moves at a slower pace, you're adjusting to its needs, and that adjustment is a powerful reflection of your resilience. This next truth can be hard to voice, not because it's rare, but because it's so deeply personal. After 80, even the most self-reliant among us start needing a little help. It doesn't happen overnight, it sneaks up on you. You hesitate before reaching for that jar on the top shelf, wondering if it's worth the risk. You hold the handrail a little tighter on the stairs. You skip certain errands, not because you can't do them, but because they take more out of you than they used to. These moments accumulate, and one day you realize you can't do everything alone anymore. If you've spent your life being the one who helped others, raising children, caring for a partner, solving problems for everyone around you, this change can feel like a betrayal of who you are. You've always been the strong one, the one who carried the weight. So, when you need support, it can feel like you're losing a piece of yourself. It's tempting to stay silent, to do less rather than admit you need a hand. But here's the reality: asking for help isn't a sign of weakness, it's a mark of wisdom. Accepting help doesn't mean giving up your independence, it means safeguarding it. A neighbor who carries your groceries, a family member who drives you to the doctor, or a tool like a walker or a shower chair, these don't diminish your strength. They empower you to keep living life on your terms. And help isn't always about people. It can be practical solutions: a grab bar in the bathroom, a magnifying glass for reading small print, or a stool to make cooking easier. These small adjustments preserve your dignity, allowing you to maintain control over your daily life. I once met a woman named Margaret who shared a story that stayed with me. She'd been fiercely independent her whole life, running a small bakery and raising 4 kids single-handedly. But after 80, she started using a walker and asked her daughter to help with grocery shopping. "I thought it would make me feel less," she said, "but it gave me more. More time to bake for my grandkids, more energy to enjoy my days." Accepting help, she realized, wasn't about losing herself. It was about holding on to the life she loved. Asking for support is an act of courage, a declaration that you value your life and want to keep living it fully. There's another reality of aging that catches you by surprise, the sense that the world stops noticing you. Not your family or closest friends necessarily, but the wider world, strangers, shop clerks, even healthcare providers. After 80, you might notice people's eyes glide past you in a store. A cashier might speak to the person behind you instead of you. A nurse might explain your condition to your adult child as if you're not sitting right there. Or someone speaks to you slowly, loudly, assuming you can't keep up. It's frustrating, even wounding, to feel like you've become invisible. This isn't always intentional. The world moves at a relentless pace, obsessed with youth, speed, and the next big thing. In that rush, age often gets pushed to the sidelines, but that doesn't make it easier to accept. You've lived a rich, full life, raised families, built careers, weathered losses and triumphs, and you've earned the right to be seen. Yet society sometimes overlooks the value of your experience, your wisdom, your presence. It can feel like your grey hair or slower steps make you fade into the background, as if your story no longer matters. But here's the truth. You don't have to fade. You don't need to shout or prove yourself, you just need to keep showing up. Speak up at the doctor's office, even if it's just to ask a question. Share a memory in a conversation, even if nobody prompted you. Wear that colourful hat or tell that story that always gets a laugh. Your presence is your power, and you still have it. I once knew a man named Henry who, at 87, made it a point to greet everyone he met with a warm smile and a kind word. "If they don't see me," he'd say, "I'll make sure they do." And they did, because his warmth and humor were impossible to ignore. You are not a shadow. You are a living, breathing story, full of wisdom and experiences that the world still needs. Don't wait for permission to take up space. Your voice, your perspective, your laughter, they still matter. Keep sharing them, and you'll remind others and yourself that you're still here, still vibrant, still you. In the quiet moments after 80, when the house is still and the days feel slower, your mind often wanders. You reflect on the life you've lived, the joys, the sorrows, the choices you made, and the ones you didn't. Regret can slip in, not always about major mistakes, but about the small things that linger. I wish I'd traveled more. Why didn't I spend more time with them? I should have learned to paint. These thoughts can weigh heavily, especially when your energy is lower and the future feels shorter than the past. This reflection can make purpose feel elusive. If you're no longer working, volunteering, or raising a family, it's easy to feel like your life's meaning has retired. But purpose doesn't vanish. It transforms. You may not lead meetings anymore, but you can lead by listening to a grandchild's dreams. You may not travel the world, but your stories can transport others to places they've never been. You may not fix things with your hands, but your presence can ease someone's loneliness. I once knew a man named Thomas who, at 83, felt he'd lost his purpose after retiring from his carpentry business. Then he started teaching his great-grandson how to whittle small wooden figures. Those afternoons, filled with laughter and sawdust, became his new purpose. Every small act, calling a friend, helping a neighbor, or simply listening, carries meaning. It's not too late to matter, to bring light to someone's day, even if it's just your own. Reaching 80 is no small achievement. It's a testament to a life built through love, loss, hard work, and resilience. This chapter may feel different, slower, quieter, sometimes lonelier, but it's no less meaningful. The phone may not ring as often, your body may move more cautiously, and the world may not always see you. But you are still here, still growing, still becoming. You have choices every day, to reach out for connection, to move gently but keep moving, to ask for help when you need it, to speak up and be seen, to find purpose in the small moments. These choices don't require grand gestures, they require you showing up as you are. That's enough. Your presence, your wisdom, your kindness. They still ripple outward, touching lives in ways you may not even see. So ask yourself, what small thing could you do tomorrow to bring light to your day or someone else's? Maybe it's a phone call, a walk, a kind word. Do it not because you have to, but because you can. And if this resonated with you, share what hit home. Which reality felt the most real to you? Drop it in the comments, along with your city or town. Your story might just help someone else feel less alone. Thank you for being here. You are seen, you are valued, and you are still writing a story worth telling.